I'm gonna tell you a secret. Originality is overrated, especially when it comes to creating a logo. People are always stressing about being unique. Like, I know we get this from a lot of the businesses we work with, but trust me, being original is not a necessity for your brand, and honestly, it shouldn't be your goal. I'll show you what I mean. If I asked you what this movie is about, could you guess? You'd probably say something like superhero film or action movie, and of course you'd be right. But you haven't seen the specific movie before, and I know that that's true because we made up this poster. The reason you knew how to guess what it's about is because you've seen a million different versions of this exact thing. What about this one? That's obviously a horror film, right? Again, you know that because you've seen like 40 different versions of this exact same design. You have these patterns with rom-coms, thrillers, even teenage drama movies, and it's totally intentional. Designers know that people only take a few seconds to make a decision about the movie that they want to watch, and they try to convey as much information as possible in the few moments that they have. So they stick to patterns that people know and recognize. Okay, if you believe for a second that this doesn't apply to brands, think again. So let's take a look at the automotive industry. There are 8 different companies right here that created nearly identical cars, and it's not an accident. Even 2 of some of the best car brands have nearly identical logos. So let's talk about that now. Logo design, which a lot of people say is the heart and the soul of your brand. There are a ton of famous logos out there that look exactly the same. It's not just about people like copying each other or trying to be like one another. It's really about following rules that work. So colors that go together, shapes that appear more often than others, and of course fonts. But the main thing is when you look at the picture as a whole, it's really about patterns. In today's world, when you want to convey a message in the fastest way possible, you have to use patterns. So to help people choose you, you need them to understand what it is you offer as quickly as possible. And that means using things like that they've seen before and formed associations with in order to do that. Okay, so now that we've understood what you don't need to do to succeed, what should a brand actually do in order to get noticed? We've got a few simple tips for you. Just kidding. Here's what you need to know. Yeah! Okay, tip 1, stick to patterns. Look at the industry that you're in and see which patterns are noticeable. Companies use the same elements as each other all the time, and that's awesome. If you're a luxury brand, it's okay to use a typeface that looks like Prada's. Obviously, you shouldn't call your brand like Prada. That's where you have some room to play around with uniqueness. But cluing your audience into the fact that you provide luxury goods or services through your typeface will only help you reach the people that you're actually trying to reach. Tip 2. Use only one major element in your design. What's the one thing that people will remember from your logo when they're trying to imagine your brand? Maybe it's a bird icon or a color scheme. If you have one centralized element that stands out, your logo is more likely to be remembered. Which brings us to tip 3, keep it simple. Guess what? Your logo is not your resume. At Taylor Brands, we see so many people trying to cram a million things into their logo design, like we're having a sale, or these are our office hours, call bill to order. And that's not the point of your logo at all. If anything, cramming all that stuff in will just make people's eyes glaze over and look right past your brand. Tip 4, size does matter. Your audience is gonna interact with your brand wherever they see fit. So just because you created your logo on a computer doesn't mean they're gonna look at it on their laptop. Maybe they're scrolling through their iPhone on the subway, checking your business out on the way home from work. If your logo doesn't look right, if they experience your brand badly, that will be how they think of you, and they're not gonna wanna do business with you. Tip 5, use 1 to 3 colors. The biggest companies out there can afford 5 colors, but they still choose 1 or 2. That's because you want people to remember who you are, like, you know that red logo or that blue logo, and having too many colors will just clutter your design. Also, as a small business owner, it'll be cheaper for you to print a 1-color logo with fewer colors on merchandise. Tip 6, keep it consistent. Your logo is just a gateway. Your audience is gonna interact with your brand on social media, on your website, and keeping all of these pages consistent with your design is the best way to create an authentic experience for them. So look at this example. Would you trust a brand that looks like this on Facebook, but like this on their website? Honestly, probably not. People can pinpoint whether or not something's authentic from a mile away, and inconsistency will just lead to confusion and ultimately lead them not to trust you. All of this is just to say, don't let this be the excuse for why you aren't starting your business. Take the first step. You have everything you need to get started, and we're here to help if there's anything you want to know about starting your business, we'd love to make that video for you next. So let us know in the comments and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss it.